Okay. Topic of the week, hydration. All right, everybody. So this week we're going to talk about hydration, critical for any endurance athlete, any triathlon, any distance, Ironman for certain, but really any endurance race or training, hydration is just absolutely critical. And where you live will make a huge impact on your hydration need during normal living and during training. We live here in Texas, and so the summers are really, really hot, and we live in East Texas, north of Houston. Really, really humid. If you watch my videos and you hear me talk all the time about temperature and humidity, especially in these summer months, when I'm finished with a run or a bike, I am drenched, and so my hydration needs may be different than when we've vacation in Colorado in July every summer, and I do a ride there or a run there, and the temperature is cooler, the humidity's next to nothing, and so I'm sweating. But when I'm finished with my run, I'm pretty bone dry because that evaporation process of cooling works so efficiently there. Where in Houston, it just is it's a fail because there's no evaporative quality in the air. Everything's so totally wet that you just don't get that benefit. So can be miserable, as you know, when you train. So hydration. Let's talk a little bit about the extremes. Of course, your body needs water and sodium and lots of other things for homeostasis, right? For equilibrium. You start running longer miles on the bike longer. You can't catch up or keep up with your hydration. It's just really impossible. But you can slow down the amount of loss by hydrating during your activity, before and after. So the two extremes when you're dealing with liquid or water, dehydration, of course, which we all know, we most of us walk around half dehydrated anyways. And then a term that describes a loss of sodium due to excess fluid in your body, called hyponatremia. And it can be both extremes. Obviously, can be dangerous, can lead to death. We've probably all experienced dehydration, and it on these runs and rides where it's in the heat of the summer. Your core heat increases. You don't have enough fluid. You can get cramping. You can your heart rate increases. You can you can get some confusion, a little bit of just a little out of it. You bonk, if we've talked about that before. It can lead to heat stroke, which of course untreated could kill you. On the other extreme, you drink so much fluid and you don't stay in balance with your sodium levels. The excess fluid can dilute the sodium in your body, causing all kinds of imbalance and problems. And a couple of those things: headaches, vomiting, confusion, lethargy. Untreated, you can go into coma, and of course you can die from it. My coach I believe had that issue in one Ironman race. I think it was a Kona race, where he had to pull out because of that, and so it can be dangerous. So even for elite athletes, most of the time we're not going to drink enough water to cause us to get into that state. I think most people's problem is they simply aren't drinking enough. and drinking enough electrolytes to keep those sodium, potassium levels in check in training. Um, so, you know, it's important to stay hydrated, not just in training, of course. If you're a new to the sport, first timer in triathlon, um, you need to be hydrating all day, all week long, every day, all the time. Okay, to put yourself in a position to not fail in training, certainly in a race. So you've heard kind of the conventional wisdom is half of your body weight in ounces per day. Okay, so do the math. That needs to happen throughout the day, not twice a day, and you drink half a gallon in the morning and half a gallon at night. Your body needs to be able to process that and actually make it effective. Um, During training, now that half that conventional wisdom is for kind of everyday life. You're training, you need to increase that intake, because your body is going to be just by virtue of the activity, you're going to be using more. So you're going to have to really recover by increased fluid and before your workout as well. So, like I mentioned before, where you are in the country, if you're in a warmer climate, cooler climate, is going to impact how much fluid you need. And I'm going to be talking about just training time. Okay. Um, One way to determine what you need is to do a kind of a do-it-yourself sweat rate test. Okay. One way to accomplish that is to weigh yourself naked before your workout. Let's say you do a run. Do a 1 hour run, weigh yourself, go run, drink your water, whatever you do. If you have water stops, if you carry your water, just drink water only, the way you normally do. Know how much in ounces you have that you consume for 1 hour. Finish, go weigh yourself naked again after the workout. Okay. Take that difference in weight, add back the ounces of water that you consumed during the workout, and out pops what you sweated out. Now there's going to be some variances in that, but that will generally give you a sweat rate per hour, and you can use that to determine what you need to be consuming during your workouts if you have a 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour workout. Now, of course, if you're in July or August and you do that sweat rate test, it's going to be different in January, February, right? It's just cooler weather, cooler humidity differences, everything changes, and so you need to kind of do that seasonally to make sure you're not taking in too much or not enough. And look, if you don't want to go through all that trouble, another kind of conventional wisdom intake for fluids during training is around 14 to 28 ounces per hour. Okay. And ideally, if you have electrolytes that you can consume during your workout, you need to do it. I do water only because I run in a loop that has water stops. On these longer runs and in the heat, I take salt pills to keep my sodium in check. But in the perfect world, I would have some Gatorade Endure or Perform or some kind of something that would have some sugar and electrolytes. But the salt pills, they do the trick generally for me. So whatever you do, you need to stay hydrated every day, and especially during your activity, during your workout, and then after the workout, hydrate with some electrolytes and get some of that salt back in your system, okay, to replenish. Because if you don't stay on it, it's a piling on effect, and when you really start increasing your mileage, you will feel it, and your performance will suffer as a result. So, stay hydrated. Thanks for watching.